Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 8th grade celebration. This is the first of 2 significant celebrations in the next coming days to honor all of our 8th grade graduates and to send them on their way to the next chapter of their lives. Before I begin reading each paragraph for each specific 8th grade student, I want to take a moment to recognize what this class in particular has been through and what they've accomplished. This is the first pre-K class ever to enter the hallways of Stevenson School, and here they are on the precipice of their graduation from 8th grade. 10 long and glorious, hilarious years we've been together on the Carmel campus, and tonight and tomorrow mark the change in that transformation and their passage into 9th grade. I'd also like to recognize that this is the class that has persevered some incredibly significant obstacles over the decade they've been together. Some of these children have lost their parents. Some of them have stood beside one another while they have faced extraordinary, serious, life-threatening illness, and yet here we are together again today to celebrate and honor what we have done, who we are, and what we will be in the future. I would also like to recognize that this is the class that had to face going into a global pandemic and facing all the unknowns, the fears, and the obscurity that the last year and a half of our lives has brought to not only our community, the nation, but the world over. They are a resilient, brave group of people, and I want to honor each of them specifically tonight as individuals and celebrate them as a whole tomorrow morning when we are all together on the Carmel campus to give them one final big farewell goodbye. So, without further ado, these are alphabetical, and each of them are individual paragraphs to honor every 8th grade graduate. Cody Adams. Cody Adams is better known as the baseball kid. While he is an avid and decidedly dedicated baseball player, he is also just simply loves the game. But don't let his devotion to baseball fool you. Cody is also devoted to mountain biking, skateboarding, disc golf, and karate. He loves to go to the beach, watch YouTube videos, hang out with his friends, skateboard, play video games. Cody can always be counted on to wear shorts and black socks, daily. Fog, rain, or sunshine, Cody has shorts on. He loves his family, shows exceptional care and affection toward each of them. He tells his parents that he loves them every morning when he leaves them in car line, and his father is his hero. Cody's teachers and coaches all remark on his extraordinary work ethic and his kind spirit. He is destined for great things in high school and beyond. He hopes to play Division I baseball in college, and I have no doubt he will achieve any goal he sets his mind to. He is a kind, respectful, compassionate young man with big dreams and all the ability to do whatever he chooses in his lifetime. It has been a joy having him with us this year. I only wish we had had more time with him. Julia Valerie Antonou. New to us this year, Julia entered Stevenson with a remarkable work ethic. She is a conscientious student and person with a warmth and compassion that emanates wherever she goes. Julia is very close to her family and places high value on spending quality time with them. One of her favorite memories from her past year at Stevenson was helping to contribute at the food pantry in Seaside with Mrs. Spencer and some of her classmates. She helps out every weekend that she is available and has every intention of continuing to support this endeavor for the foreseeable future. Julia is selfless and compassionate, skills that all of us can appreciate and try to emulate. One of her favorite hobbies is running, and she has the ambition of running track next year at the upper school. I'm confident Mr. Thayer and Mr. Bates will be terrifically happy to have her join their team. She also plays the piano and loves to travel. And little known fact, Julia speaks fluent Romanian. She often brings Romanian heritage into her creative writing assignments. Julia's ambitions are to get into a good college after high school and find success in whatever she does. I have no doubt she will achieve both of these goals. She is a good, wise, empathic, hardworking young woman with a bright future ahead. Katrina Yang Bauer. At first glance, one would not assume the razor-sharp wit behind the otherwise calm and polite presence of Katrina Bauer. With a tremendous awareness of the world around her, coupled with a sharp mind and a determined spirit, Katrina is a force that the world needs now more than ever. She is both creative and hardworking. Katrina's academic work reflects this balance. Her writing, class engagement, organization, and acuity for complex problem-solving reveal this union. While she is a truly remarkable cellist, her favorite hobbies include art and baking. And as if being a master cellist were not enough, Katrina crushes a piano keyboard like the best of them. She is respected and revered by her classmates and the faculty. She is willful, determined, and very capable. Katrina hopes to go to a good college where she can continue to pursue her academic and musical interests. But before that takes place, she will attend high school at Stevenson, where she is certain to continue to flourish and evolve into her best self. William Owen Bufkin. I suspect his mother said it best when she told us that Will is the Buddha of their family. He is empathetic, calm. His empathic, calm demeanor keeps the household steady, according to her. I would say the same of Will at school. He has the uncanny ability to bring people together in an unassuming, compassionate manner. Beloved by his peers, Will arrived at Stevenson this year and quickly assimilated into a place of selfless leadership. Will is kind, polite, thoughtful, fun-loving, and easy to be around. While many know Will for his extraordinary skill on the lacrosse field, he aspires to play Division I lacrosse in college, a dream I'm confident he will achieve. His teachers see the same determination, drive, and endurance in the classroom as is exhibited on the field. His math teacher writes, quote, Will consistently puts forth his best effort. His work ethic combined with an easygoing personality make collaborating such a pleasant experience. Bill, Bufkin, or Willie, just some of the nicknames Will is bound to respond to, is a loving friend as he is a family member. Devoted to his family and his 2 dogs, Bourbon and Dallas, Will comports himself with love, patience, and a sustaining joy of life. He is a role model for others, adults and children, on the lacrosse field, in the classroom, and in life. Kai Evan Carlson. My first memory of Kai Carlson was the summer before he entered kindergarten. He joined junior camp that summer and tepidly entered the school campus each day with curious, quiet wonder. I would see him in art class, barely tall enough to sit at the table and draw. His sweet face would reveal his devotion and determination to the craft of drawing or painting. Always thinking, indeed, it is one of his favorite hobbies, to think, Kai would be found wandering the landscape at the Carmel campus, deep in reflection. One such time, I spotted him and demanded he come help me with a task. It was campus cleanup day. Everyone was milling about, collecting trash, cleaning the hallways, scrubbing lockers, etc. And there was Kai, walking about, carefully avoiding any task that might come his way. So I shouted at him to come with me, grab some soapy water, a scrub brush, and a ladder, and follow me down the street, where we went to a stop sign about a block off the campus. Together, we precariously balanced the ladder and took turns scrubbing the thick layers of green pollen off the sign. When it was Kai's turn to scrub, he stood up on the ladder and took one stroke with his scrub brush through the pollen, when suddenly, as if in a cartoon, the pollen exploded off the sign and all over Kai's face. He turned down and looked at me and said in his best Russian affected-like accent, "Well, now you've done it, Mrs. Bozo." That's a terrible accent, but his was much better. We snorted and coughed and laughed hysterically. It's a memory I don't suspect either of us will ever forget. And I share it with you now because to me it sums up Kai Carlson. He is content doing his own thing, will engage when invited to do so, and absolutely makes the most of the mundane in life joyful. He is a deeply perceptive, sensitive young man with a dry wit, exceptional skills as an actor. Truly, he crushed the 5th grade adaptation of Shakespeare, and an intellect that we have yet to see the full measure of. He was indeed dubbed Philosopher King in 7th grade. He is ready for high school, and I only hope they are ready for him. Nathaniel Robertson Carlisle. The last of the Carlisle kids, Nate has been a sweet, compassionate, brilliant presence on this campus for 10 years. It's an exceptional milestone that warrants being noted. He is the last of the Carlisle gang. And while I'm very sad to know I will no longer see him barreling through Carline with less than a minute to spare before first period, I am more proud and excited for them. This is a family that has remained deeply devoted to our community over the years, and Nate, as the last of the 3, represents the ethos of both their family values and our own school culture. Nate, Nathan, Noah, Marshmallow, Carlisle, all of which Nate will answer to, holds one of his favorite memories from when the class in sixth grade the sixth grade class went rock climbing in Pinnacles. While hiking was fine and the climbing was meh, Nate loved the stargazing most of all. The vast beauty of the starlit sky brought wonder to him, including a deep desire to one day see the northern lights. Nate is a selfless, kind, compassionate, intelligent young man. He spent hours of time helping Mrs. Spencer with the food drive, delivering food trucks every week for the entire spring of 2020. And this generosity of spirit and empathy for others is matched with an insatiable intellectual curiosity. He respectfully but consistently questions, a skill we hope all of our learners to establish. The language of mathematics comes naturally to him, but the sheer beauty of his person is that despite his best attempts at organization, his graphing calculator is always only at 1% every time he comes to class. Oh, Nate Carlisle, forever the absent-minded professor. In his best humor, merging intellect with teenage sass, Nate began the school year this year choosing to quote the dictionary every single time he was asked a question. William Earl Carminati. One of my favorite memories of Will Carminati was watching him hop into the passenger seat of his dad's giant truck. Will was so small by comparison, but it didn't deter him. The same determination he used to leap into his dad's truck was exhibited in the pool when Will took up water polo. He works hard, learns from his mistakes, and continues to try. He is self-aware, contrite when he missteps, is honest and self-effacing. He has a terrific sense of humor, and he always has earpods in, listening to something. He's also obsessed with food. He's always eating, always asking for food, always sharing food, of course, pre-COVID. Ever since he was a little boy, Will was delighted to eat a hearty snack or figure out a way to try to have someone else's. His relationship with his older sister, Bella, is testament to his character. He is both respectful of her and loving. He is thoughtful and polite to those around him, and Will conveys similar care towards his schoolwork. While he does not know what the future holds for him, who really does, Will is grateful for the time he has had at the Carmel campus. His favorite memory is the 7th grade trip to Yosemite, and he is ready for high school. I'm confident he will thrive both in the classroom and in the water polo pool, and maybe someday Will can drive his dad's big truck to school and will finally be tall enough so that he won't have to hoist himself up to get in. Sienna Ann Chimoli. One day, Sienna Ann Chimoli hopes to travel the world and become an Olympian. Excellent aspirations for this budding Renaissance woman. With a joyful spirit and cheery disposition, Sienna brings light and serenity wherever she goes. In the past few years, she has devoted her time outside of school to both dance and water polo, not an easy balance to strike. But Sienna is seemingly unfazed. With a carefree attitude and ease, Sienna dives into the pool or sachets across the dance floor with pure wonder. Nicknamed Sis, Burnt Sienna, Sienna Chimomo, Sienna, or Sunscreen, Sienna answers to them all with the same contagious smile, wonder, and kindness. She is seemingly unfazed by unpleasantries also. Even the time she and Miss Russell accidentally hot-glued paper rosettes into her hair when she was trying to get dressed for the Junk to Funk fashion show. She loves to spend time with her friends and family, including walks into Carmel to get smoothies with her friends. She works hard at school, often working late into the night to organize and understand material in preparation for her next day. She is beloved by her peers, seen as a trustworthy, kind, and loyal friend. Sienna models for us all what it means to live in the moment, be joyful for what we have, and to celebrate the little things in life. Georgia Claire Copeland, Lil G, Georgina, George, Dragon G, and Chippy. Georgia Claire Copeland is a small but mighty force to be reckoned with. If you know Georgia, then you know this girl's got game. A true baller, Georgia is one of those tremendously naturally talented athletes. Indeed, her favorite things to do are play softball, surf, do acrobatics, be on a one-wheel, run, and watch cartoons. With a jubilant spirit, Georgia brings light and hope into this world. She is a fiercely determined athlete and student. She has high aspirations for herself and works very hard to achieve them. She has a quiet, charming strength about her and is beloved by her friends and classmates. Some of her favorite memories over the past 10 years at Stevenson are playing with her friends at Olympics Day, competing in all the sports, and of course, dressing up for Halloween. Skipping right over high school, Georgia already has her mind set on college, where she hopes to play softball. She's been competing for the past 8 years in softball. And after college, yes, she's got that figured out already as well, Georgia would like to become a successful entrepreneur. This would explain her devotion for making things all the time, slime, squishy toys, etc. Or she wants to become a dentist or an interior designer. Ideally, however, Georgia would most likely one day to own a large-scale candy business in New York City. I'm not sure being a dentist and owning a candy shop go hand in hand, but I will leave that to Georgia, with her determined spirit, to figure it out. If all else fails, however, Georgia has set her sights on fame. Just pure, unfiltered fame. Thomas Daniel Dayton. Tommy Dayton is a tremendously poignant, self-possessed, caring young man. With a charming smile that almost always gets him out of any potential trouble, Tommy charms the world around him wherever he goes. One can often hear him bellow warm and witty salutations across the campus to his friends or his teachers. He's keenly perceptive, sensitive, and compassionate. A great artist and an insightful thinker. His favorite Stevenson memory is the science camp trip to Yosemite in 7th grade. He loves playing lacrosse, drawing, and playing video games. He is a devoted son and brother. His family means a great deal to him, and he always tells his mother he loves her when he leaves the car line each morning. He is an organized, well-mannered student who is academically determined. He is a steady, loyal friend, and he has thrived at the Carmel campus. This fall, Tommy will join his older brother at the Pebble Beach campus, and I'm entirely confident he will continue to flourish. The world is Tommy's oyster, and he is destined for greatness. Alessandro De Leo. Ale, otherwise known as Spaghetti Head, I guess being both Italian and long-haired is the reason why he earned that special nickname, is an unassuming, kind, compassionate, funny, and devoted student and friend. Ale's care towards his little brother only further exemplify his true self, a deeply compassionate, sensitive, and empathic young man with a keen intellect and particular interest in all things computer science. Every morning, Ale and his family come barreling through the car line, usually just before class has begun, and there is a flurry of "Ciao, Papa!" and in Italian, "Do you have your lunch? Where is your computer? Did you brush your hair?" And Ale, with his golden blonde hair braided down his back and his little brother in tow, they stumble out of the car and sidle into the day. Ale is exceptionally polite, gracious, engages easily with adults and children, and holds his academic endeavors in check with being able to live a full, balanced life. You can often hear Ale blaring his saxophone down the corridors of the breezeways on the Carmel campus, usually late in the afternoon toward the end of the otherwise hectic day. In fact, it's a gift to us all. He loves engineering challenges and is truly an expert in constructing complex things. In 3rd grade, however, he led the entire class in meditation. And this nuance, the blend of both awareness of self and other, coupled with an insatiable love for computer sciences, places Ale at the axis of the California tech world. I'm entirely confident we will all be hearing about Alessandro De Leo and his endeavors in Silicon Valley. Lucia Rose de Marinac. Lucia is aptly referred to as Coffee Bean by her friends for the exceptional number of days and in both remote and on-campus learning that she arrives to class with a giant Starbucks coffee in hand. Indeed, she even earned the Starbucks Award in 7th grade for her devotion to the mighty cup of coffee. With grace and conviction, Lucia has grown up at the Carmel campus. Both in her stature, she's so tall, and as a person. She's tremendously introspective, with a creative wit and curiosity in both her academic and social endeavors. It all began in pre-K when she was dubbed the Daredevil for all her fearless curiosity. She is a devoted writer and reader, both skills that have blossomed for her through middle school. She hopes to put her keen mind to use in the future to become a marine biologist like her father. She loves to surf, especially with her big brother, who is by far and away her favorite person. When she is not making cutbacks in the ocean, you can find Lucia playing video games or skateboarding. Her fun-loving spirit is often relied upon by her peers and her teachers to liberate the other middle schoolers from the weight of adolescent angst. Daphne Renier DiCarlo. Daphne's favorite thing about Stevenson thus far is that she was finally able to be back on campus, learning with her friends. The ability to be with other students after almost a year of remote learning brought her tremendous joy. Daphne first joined us in the Carmel campus when she was in pre-K. She left for a few years, and then to our delight, she returned. Daphne is a woman of many talents, a bass player, actor, and singer. She even has her own talent profile online. She is a deeply empathic person, and exceptionally caring and supportive of her friends and family, and is learning the critical nuance of accepting people for who they are. She is an active learner in the classroom, especially in science, takes deep and calculated intellectual dives into the details of subjects at hand. She is equally devoted to equality for all living creatures. She's a vegetarian, an advocate for women's rights, and conveys a powerful proclivity towards social justice for all. She is outspoken about her perspective without being unkind or judgmental. She is passionate, engaged, and deeply committed to the world around her. And she is ready for high school. Stevenson is a better community for having Daphne with us. Her tenacity and perspective help us all keep open minds. Diego Charles Doust. When Diego first arrived to RLS from Santa Catalina, he stepped onto the campus with a crisp polo with the collar popped. Now Diego struts onto campus in shorts and a t-shirt every day. It does not matter the temperature outside. He does not care if the fog is billowing in or the rain is coming down sideways. Diego is in his shorts. Indeed, this past Christmas Eve, in the darkness of the pandemic, Diego and his father showed up at my doorstep with a wedge of exceptionally delicious cheese to share with my family and me. And what was he wearing on December 24th? Shorts and a t-shirt, of course. Diego has matured tremendously since he arrived to the middle school at RLS. He was always one of the most capable students in class, a leader through and through. Toward the end of his time here in middle school, Diego has relaxed his guard a bit, or maybe lost interest in playing the subtle instigator. He has always been a deeply devoted student and intellect, despite his best attempts to appear otherwise. Diego arrives to school every day, ready to go. He's confident and outspoken. He does not shy away from telling others what he thinks, and he will attend the upper division in the fall, where I'm confident he will mature and thrive in tremendously successful ways. Charles Howard Elmore. Otherwise known as Char, Chucky, Chuck, Howard, or Charlie, Charles Elmore arrives at school with a steady composure that invites wisdom beyond his years. He's a polite and kind young man who absolutely loves a good debate on just about anything and is not afraid to stake out a minority position on the subject at hand. Charles left his mark in the minds of his classmates and his teachers in third grade when he shaved a strip of hair off Mr. Collette's head after the class met their reading goal and earned the privilege of shaving their teacher's head. To this day, I have no idea why Mr. Collette agreed to that bet, agreed and lost. Some of Charles' favorite memories are the 7th grade trip to Yosemite and playing flag football. One of his teachers recalls watching Charles endure the arduous task of getting his rubber band car to actually work. Charles spent countless hours trying and retrying over and over to get that car to work until, ta-da, it moved. A thoughtful, conscientious student and person, Charles is always looking out for other people's best interest. He plays lacrosse and video games like the best of them, and is an avid reader and drawer. He hopes one day to become a professional soccer coach. Amanda Emilie Forte. Amanda joined us in 4th grade, and upon arrival, Amanda was quickly beloved by her classmates. She is polite, well-spoken, a little bit shy, and exceptionally kind toward others. Amanda has impeccable manners. One would never guess that beneath this quiet exterior lies a TikTok dancing dominator. She is tremendously joyful, lighthearted, and goofy with her friends, all of whom adore and respect her tremendously. She is an avid dancer, volleyball player, and artist, and I might add, a serious and effective student. She is always positive, has a good spirit about her, and sees the good in others and in situations. Amanda loves the rush of discovering knowledge and skills. She does not back down from difficulty or problem solving. In STEM, she and her partner were meticulous in the engineering and re-engineering again and again during the rubber band car project. She displayed conviction, will, high organization, and thought processing, all of which she carries in all the work she attends to. She's a devoted poet, using the same attention to detail to write beautiful prose. She does not let sprains or breaks keep her down, a devoted athlete and person through and through. Joseph Daniel Gorham. The youngest of 3, with 2 older sisters to pave the path, Joseph has great role models to follow, and he has set his own trajectory. Joseph transferred to RLS from Santa Catalina in 6th grade, and we are so glad he did. A diligent student and an exceptional friend, Joseph is beloved by all. He is constantly surrounded by his friends, engaging in laughter, games, and schoolwork. He's quietly devoted to living a full and enriching life. He loves to play games, all kinds of games. He loves to play volleyball and has a passion for photography. His writing skills have developed well over the past years, and he is now drawing upon his own real-life experiences to build the texture of his writing. His hero is his grandfather, and he desperately wants to have a career after college that is something that he truly loves to do every day. Joe, Josh, Giuseppe, or Joes, as he wants to go by, has one of the most remarkable smiles. As one teacher exclaimed, it literally stops you in your tracks. His smile epitomizes his person, entirely sincere, bright, and filled with an abiding love of life. Hannah Noelle Hagquist. The first big moment at the Carmel campus for Hannah Hagquist was the day she strutted down the runway in nothing but a shopping bag. Now don't despair. She was only 4 years old and one of the 2 brave pre-K kiddos who managed to make their way down that runway in front of everyone. We should have known then that Hannah would be able to hold steady, even gracefully, under pressure. A loyal friend, dedicated dancer, and golfer, Hannah engages in class discussion with sharp insight, a clear understanding of the subject at hand, and not a drop of self-doubt. She is organized, devoted to her learning, her friends, family, dance, and athletics. She is witty, with a dabble of absolutely appropriate adolescent sass, and she is ready for high school. Hannah Banana, Hummus, or Hanita, as she is lovingly referred to by her friends, most fondly remembers the 7th grade science trip to Yosemite. She loves to sleep, and she loves to eat. Hannah would frequently bust out huge wedges of brie cheese and crackers in the middle of her classes. She also loves to learn, despite her best attempts at feigning too cool. She was once the best woodshop student to date, being agile enough in her skills to use the big gun in woodshop. She's an artist, constantly sketching, carving, painting, or doodling, and she's a loyal sister, daughter, student, and friend. Hannah has been on this campus since before she was even a student, running around the halls as a toddler. While we will miss her presence a great deal at the Carmel campus, we are all excited for Hannah to finally have her own campus, a place that's entirely hers just to be a high school student. Ginevra May Heiser. Gigi, or Igig, arrived at Stevenson in pre-K. With deep introspection of the world around her and a graceful quiet in her nature, Gigi warmed the campus culture with her compassion over the past 10 years. She is a tremendously talented artist, especially as a drawer. She could always be spotted seated in a corner just steps away from the crowd, drawing something she was observing, noticing the details of the world around her. I suspect she will put this skill to good use in her adulthood, as she hopes to pursue a career in 2-dimensional character design, specifically video game characters. Gigi always wore a hat on free dress days. I wonder if in high school, without the restrictions of a uniform, Gigi's hat-wearing days will be even more frequent. One of her favorite memories is of hiking to the top of Vernal Falls in Yosemite. She wrote, quote, "The views were absolutely stunning. It's a trip I will never forget, and a place I hope to revisit sometime in the future." That's Gigi, always seeing the beauty in the world around her. You can count on Gigi for some excellent descriptions of a meal she and her mother have cooked. Almost every Monday morning, Gigi regales her classmates and teachers with details describing the meals that were made, the cake that was baked, etc. over the weekend. A passionate artist and cook, Gigi sees the details in both her artistry as an artist and a chef, and we wish her all the best in her next chapter. Grace Sella Ishii. When Gracie was 4 years old, she and her friends stumbled down the red carpet of a junk-defunct fashion show, festooned in remarkably recycled outfits handmade by Miss Sato, and Gracie never looked back. From that moment on, she knew the world was her runway, and she steps into every last element of her life with dogged determination and confidence. Grapes, Gishi, G, or Grassy, all the names that Gracie answers to, hopes to travel the world when she gets older. Of course, as an Ishii child, she wants to play sports too. But mostly, Gracie simply wants to have a good life. With meticulous attention to detail, Gracie would often take copious notes in class and then go home that night and rewrite them so that they were absolutely perfect. This tenacity and proclivity toward detail helps Gracie in and out of the classroom or on the softball field, or just about any sport that Gracie wants to try, skiing, biking, hiking, etc. She danced her way through elementary and middle school. She participated in elective dance classes, school performances, and community outreach programs. Simply put, Gracie is an organized workhorse. She gets the job done and done well. Just watch her in a round of spike ball against the 8th grade boys, or check out the number of minutes logged on that Peloton. She has a contagious, joyful spirit, and it's easy to be with. She is a good friend to others and brings great joy to those around her. She is welcoming to everyone and has a very high moral standard when it comes to inclusion and social justice. Gracie Ishii is a kind, compassionate young woman who lives her life fully and with conviction. Yuju Kim. Yuju, better known as Big Kim, stepped onto the Carmel campus in 2nd grade and never looked back. He would hop out of his mother's car, shout, "Anya mama," and then hop and skip his way down to the classroom. He was joyful, distracted, often almost late, and full of energy and wonder. Yuju has such a sharp mind and equally adept emotional intelligence. He is very aware of the dynamics around him. He loves to talk about ideas, engage in philosophical banter, political discourse, or amuse his friends with a delightful joke. And while not joking, he did amuse and shock his classmates and teachers when in 3rd grade, as a way of making sure everyone knew just how allergic to vegetables he really was. Yuju chose to throw up after eating a single bite of a carrot. But Yuju has matured well beyond the extravagant years of 3rd grade. Indeed, one could describe him now as a bit of a Renaissance man, with a love of good food. Ramen and dumplings are his 2 mainstays. Great discourse, art, music, and culture, and with a lucky sensibility of being able to live and thrive within both an American and Korean culture, Yuju arrives at the precipice of his young adulthood poised for greatness. His jolly disposition, coupled with a savvy intellect, a love for mathematics, people, and culture, Yuju inspires us all. He hopes to light the world, indeed the universe, with a devoted study toward astronomy and to build a joyful world for he and his family. Eland Matthews McLeod. Elando Calrissian, for those of you who are Star Wars fans and are in the know, Eland arrived this fall as a new 8th grader. And despite battling through some significant health complexities this spring, Eland endured and he thrived. One of his favorite memories remains the day he finally was able to return to on-campus instruction. When he walked into the classroom, his classmates cheered and clapped to celebrate his arrival, acknowledging what a long battle it had been for him. He is known for his black beanie, which he wears daily, and his excellent taste in shoes. Eland's goal in the future is to do something with or in space, but in the meantime, he will enjoy sailing and will spend this summer soaring across the ocean in various regattas. He's an avid volleyball player and surfer as well. With school out of the way for the next few months, Eland will focus his energies on playing, gaining strength, and celebrating that he persevered this past year despite some hefty obstacles. Chloe Alexandria McClintock. One of Chloe's fondest memories of middle school is one night on a science camp trip when she and Georgia Copeland were utterly terrified in the middle of the night because a seemingly ferocious pack of crickets were in their tent. The horror! Crickets in a tent in the middle of the night. Despite this terrifying moment, Chloe's fondest memories of school are all from science camp trips. Coco, Clo-Clo, or Chloe, as Chloe is also known, is a loyal friend, as is exhibited in her willingness to protect Georgia from the nasty crickets. Her positive, jubilant attitude is contagious, and her friends sincerely appreciate her joyful energy. She has devoted countless hours to dance, performing often, including at the Pacific Grove Good Old Days. Chloe is very creative and crafty, organized, and dedicated to completing her schoolwork meticulously. She brought a creative flair to every engineering project and video created in STEM, which helps her explain her ambition to major in college in digital filmmaking and video production, or photography, or even, she articulated, become an editor for a magazine. Both her writing and creativity continue to soar, and I have every confidence Chloe will achieve these goals, as some of her favorite hobbies are editing and photographs. Madeline Holiday Mims. When Maddie first began pre-K, perhaps the first week of school, the phone rang in the classroom, and Madison, without missing a beat, leapt up from the circle and shouted, "I'll get it!" From that moment on, we all knew Maddie Mims was going to take charge of the situation at hand, whatever it may be. Each weekday morning, you can find Maddie Mims tearing through the streets of Carmel on her electric bike, wearing the most brilliant purple helmet. She is never late, always prepared for school, and brings consistent patience and delight about the world to everything she encounters. Nicknamed Mom, Mads, or Potato, Madison loves to dance. She has been a devoted student to dance from an early age, and as her dance teacher writes, her passion for the art of dance is her joy. Maddie simply lights up the stage. While dance is certainly one of her greatest passions, she also loves to bake. She bakes so much, in fact, that her advisor cut her off from bringing baked goods to advisory. She loves to sew, play spike ball, and constantly redecorate and reorganize her bedroom. Maddie is a leader by nature. Her friends look at her as very attuned. They gravitate toward her. She displays empathy and patience with herself and her classmates. Maddie is an attentive and diligent student, and her favorite Stevenson memory is when she was cast as the New York Yankees baseball player during the Great Depression. In the future, Maddie hopes to stay close with her family, a goal I am confident she will achieve, and live a happy life until she dies at the ripe old age of 92, to be exact. Ana Maria Ramirez. With grace and poise, Anna arrives at school each day and greets us with a warm, quiet smile, a polite hello, and a giant homemade smoothie made especially for her by her loving mother. A world traveler, this year in remote learning, for example, Anna was Zooming from Reykjavik, Iceland. Anna arrived at RLS with a sense of composure and wisdom well beyond her years. A true friend, loyal and kind, Anna is loved and respected by her peers and the faculty. Her sense of humor shines through in subtle, jovial ways, like the way she uses her RLS sweatshirt to make remarkable ornamental contraptions on the top of her head. A physical manifestation, truly, of an extraordinary attention to detail was presented most vividly when she strutted down the runway in the most extraordinarily crafted paper gown in 2019. In addition, Anna danced with the same attention to detail and poise that she manifests in so much of what she does. She's a night owl, where I suspect much of her creativity is manifested through her creative writing, a talent of hers that reveals spectacular skill, often using haunting and complex imagery to build her storyline. She's also a talented runner. Anna is a Renaissance woman. She has it all, the gift of grace and patience, the love of the arts, the intellect of the best of them, and an abiding love of the world in which she lives. Anderson James Rogers. AJ arrived at Stevenson School when he was just a little kiddo. He comes to school every day with a coy smile, a sparkle in his eye, and an unflappable determination to stay just below the radar. When he was little, he would walk onto campus with his dad, holding hands, walking down the long elementary corridor toward the pre-K classroom. And from an early age, AJ was quick to always say hello whenever he saw someone else in the hallway. It did not matter if they were an adult or a child, a stranger or a friend, AJ always had a warm greeting. His sense of humor rivals his ability to focus on a task, especially as it relates to coding or robotics. His jokes or his quips are witty and dry. And with a determined, concentrating face, AJ is a serious student. He is a beloved friend and classmate of many, with student-sanctioned nicknames like AJ Big Andy, Aj, or Aja. His favorite memory is the 7th grade science camping trip, and he absolutely loves playing games, literally all kinds of games, and exploring. An avid robotics engineer and tinkerer, AJ helped launch some serious STEM and STEAM robotics projects in both elementary and middle school. He holds a quiet confidence. He does not hesitate to stand up for himself, and this is a goal he set way back in pre-K 10 years ago. He is a true friend, respected, revered, and loved by his classmates. Lucy Monique Ryan. If you want to see what a young entrepreneur looks like, look no further. With a dogged determination, creative spirit, and an unyielding desire to fulfill her dreams of becoming a successful businesswoman, Lucy, otherwise known as Lulu Lou, Lucy Lou, Louberry, or Cutie, is well on her way to achieving her dream. She already has her own small business, Lucy Ryan Designs. You can look it up on Instagram, dyes her own yarn to knit with, and then sells the knitted yarn and products on Etsy. She managed all of this while being one of the hardest working, most determined students in her class. While she continues to impress with her entrepreneurial enthusiasm, Lucy is also an avid volleyball player, basketball player, and dancer. She always has a warm smile and greeting for everyone she meets. Her manners are impeccable, and she is a truly kind young woman. One of her favorite memories of being at the Carmel campus was when she would meet Sienna for breakfast in Carmel before school started. And above all else, Lucy is a devoted sister and daughter. She loves her family almost as much as she loves her dog, Olive. And the world is a kinder place with this young entrepreneur charging ahead. I have every confidence Lucy will fulfill her dreams and along the way continue to inspire others to work hard, smile often, and enjoy life. Noah Quinn Sondergaard. Noah was so grateful to return to campus instruction. After many, many months of Zoom learning in an apparent Harry Potter-like location under the stairs, returning to an on-campus instruction experience was pure joy for Noah. Like so many of us, the ability to be with others in person, especially as a new member to this community, meant so much to him. He quickly assimilated to yet another learning community, and he has been a truly wonderful addition to our school. With a delightful sense of humor, a proclivity for drawing Jedi images on the back of whiteboards in the classroom, and an insatiable curiosity for all things related to computer science, Noah is ready for high school. He loves to surf and mountain bike and is determined to fill his future with a profession in computer science in one capacity or another. His skills as a writer have flourished. He's expertly gifted at completing puzzles with ease and finesse, almost as much as the finesse he displays while surfing. He spends his summers volunteering his time at the Wahine Surf Camp, spends his weekdays surfing with his friends, and will attend summer camp in Belgium again this summer, as he has done so many summers past. Noah is polite, earnest, confident, and humble. He always advocates for himself and seeks clarity when he does not understand something, both in and out of the classroom. Audrey Akiko Wasbauer. Audrey, better known by her friends as Slug or Grammarly, has been at Stevenson since she was 4 years old. For years, Audrey, with her sweet face and charming dimples, would bring her beloved stuffed animal, Momo, to school. She would sneak it in, shoved at the bottom of her backpack, and one could often find Audrey huddled up against the backpack outside in the breezeway, catching a quick snuggle with Momo before she got carried on with her day. Seemingly shy, don't be fooled. Audrey is a determined, bright young woman with so much to say about the world around her. Whether it be playing the violin or dancing, she just went on point this year, a major accomplishment for any dancer. Audrey works with an earnest conviction and grace. Her laugh is infectious and contagious. You can always hear Audrey laughing before you see her. One of her teachers writes, quote, "Audrey is so sharp. She is quick to process new information. She's always willing to participate and has become thoughtful about her role in class discussion. She's a tough competitor and loves to play to win." Audrey hopes to find a career in which she can change people's lives for the better and make a difference in this beautifully complex world. I do believe she will accomplish this goal, as she has already proven that she has the conviction, smarts, and kindness to accomplish anything she puts her mind to. Connor Gerald McDonald Wood. Connor, better known as Coco, joined us this year from Junipero Serra School, where he ironically returned this spring for COVID on-campus learning. While his Stevenson Middle School tenure has been brief, his most favorite aspects of his experience thus far have been both music and photography classes. He surprised all of his classmates and teachers when he returned to campus instruction after almost a year of remote learning, for us to all learn that not only did he have fantastic hair, it's huge, but due to the fact that in remote learning, Connor's entire face filled the screen in Zoom, everyone was entirely surprised when he arrived on campus at almost 6 feet tall. Connor has made lasting friendships in a short span of time in his first year at RLS and has managed to maintain his friendships from his previous school, a task that requires maturity, intention, and compassion. Connor loves to swim, play tennis, and piano, and he hopes that in his future he will find something to do that he loves, that has significant meaning, and he is able to live a full life. We are confident that you will lead a tremendously enriching life, Connor. We are so glad you joined us here at Stevenson. Savannah Yant. Savannah, or Sav, has been a pirate since she was 4 years old. She is a brave, brave young woman with courage and strength well beyond her years. Together, she and her father have endured exceptional personal challenges, and Savannah has navigated her way through these immense tribulations with grace, dignity, a quiet will, and determination. When she first arrived in pre-K, Savannah was obsessed with playing horsey with her friends. While she no longer plays horsey that I'm aware of, she does still light up in laughter with her friends who are exceptionally loyal to her as she is to them. I distinctly remember when Savannah Yant made a yarn doll for Dr. Hicks when he became president of the school. She made it and presented it to him. She had never met the man before. The doll, which I believe Dr. Hicks still has perched on the bookshelf in his office, is a manifestation of Savvy's extraordinary awareness and caring of others and for others. She has grown into a confident, self-aware young woman who loves to shake things up with new hairstyles or subtle fashion statements. But the moment that most resonates with me was the day that I stood next to Savannah with her two closest friends flanking her sides as we buried her mother. The day was terribly sad. The rain came pouring down in sheets and the wind howled. I've never been so struck as I was at that moment by this girl's exceptional strength and will to face such profound sadness and to emerge from the deepest heartache into the young woman she is today, a person who holds the goal of simply having a great life. Savannah Yant, you make us all want to hold this goal. You deserve a truly great life, and you invite all of us to remember to try and adhere to that same endeavor. Thank you for teaching us what it means to live, to be brave, to love, and to thrive. Hayden McCafferty York. The hair, that's really there is all to say. The hair. I don't believe it will be cut before Hayden York enters high school, and by then it will be even more impressive than it already is. For the past few years, as Hayden's hair has been growing extremely long, he has been managing my wrath to get his hair out of his face. Every morning I would threaten him to either get the hair out of his face or wear a headband of my choice. No one hair whips better than Hayden. One of the best memories the faculty have is watching Hayden headbang to Jingle Bells by Korn, a metal band, in the winter of 2019. His hair was especially remarkable during Zoom, when Hayden would shroud himself with locks of hair and adjust his computer camera such that we only saw his forehead, and the lighting was so bad that he looked like he was in the witness protection program. Rumor has it that he was voted best hair in the readers' poll in the Monterey County Weekly. I hope that's true. Hayden always stepping into the sidelines. Despite his best efforts, however, Hayden York persisted, and his intellect and truly good nature persevered. He has been with us since pre-K, and what a curious decade it has been. He is a loyal and true friend, beloved by his classmates, and a keenly insightful intellect when he permits himself to shed the cool and just be himself. With his loyal bird Truffle chirping in the background and a family that loves him more than life itself, Hayden York is poised to find heaps of success in high school, especially with a few more hair flips in his future. And that is that. Congratulations, 8th grade. I can't wait to celebrate each and every one of you tomorrow.